like chasing the clouds. The story of my life, I take her home, I drive all night to keep her warm, and time is frozen.
Hey guys, I've identified as gay since I was like 12 or 13, and I've lived my life accordingly. I've felt really at home in the LGBT community, but recently a male friend of mine started to pursue me, and I initially shied away from it because I was like, no, I don't like dick. But then I don't know, I started to realize that the feeling was actually mutual, and I let it happen, and the two of us have fallen for each other, and it's really weird for me because identifying as gay was such a huge part of my life, and so is the LGBT community, and I'm just scared that I'm not going to be welcome there anymore.
This is something I feel very passionate about because it's one of my biggest fears as a human being, is that I will fall in love with a man and then everyone will hate me. Think about if all of a sudden Danielle Owens-Reid was dating Channing Tatum. Everyone would be like, then you can't be giving me advice. You can't have everyone is gay. I don't think you're funny anymore. Like, you know what I mean? All of a sudden, I have no right to do anything. It's not because that's the way it should be. It's because of the way that we're all perceived and we're all expected to stay in one tiny category forever.
But for most of us, that is totally not the case. And I went through moments of panic myself. I remember being like, I'm gay, I'm gay, I'm gay, I'm gay, and then having a huge crush. I worked at this restaurant and there was a sous chef there and he was so cute. And I was like, I'm losing my mind. Like I felt I didn't know what to do, and I was terrified because I had spent so much time and effort dealing with my family and having them finally come around and start to accept me, that I was like, oh my God, if I have to go now and tell them that I'm dating a boy, they're gonna think they were right the whole time, that it was like a phase and it wasn't real, which it was real. Like those were my real experiences. But also, you know, for me, I just didn't know who I was anymore and I didn't know how to process it. So you're not saying that you are with this male and now identify as straight. I don't think that you identify as straight if you still have ties to the feelings that you had before. So you still are part of the LGBTQ community.
I think that identity and identity categories have been created so that we can find a community and we can find people who feel the way that we feel, and we don't feel alone and we don't feel isolated. They're not created so that we can exclude people.
I think that if you're looking for like a word and something that you can still hold on to feel like you're a part of the community, that queer is a word that is accessible to you. And if anybody comes up to you and is like, oh, I'm sorry, you're not queer because you're in a heterosexual relationship,
Nope.
That's not how it fucking works, you guys. It's not how it works.
The story of my life, I give her love, I spend her love until she's broken inside. The story of my life, the story of my